What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Waste Podcast. I am your host, Dylan. I got my boy Alex in the house.
Yes, sir.
And this week we have a guest on the show. Alex, I'll let you go ahead and introduce your buddy.
Yeah, so we have longtime buddy, one of my friends from school, Christian. Christian's in the Air Force. He's, I believe, at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi.
All right, so as first things first, I just want to point out, what do y'all think about this intro music? Because this shit is lit. Oh my God, bro.
I love it.
Well, I was like, I had to switch it up because if anybody's noticed, you see on social media, the old Manscaped, they jacked our freaking intro music.
Boat gang.
But I was like, yeah, every single time I heard that intro music, that's all I thought of was Manscaped.
I know, it kind of ruined it.
So
I liked it, but honestly, I kind of thought it was time for a change.
It was.
Needed something
a little refreshing.
A little bit harder.
Yeah.
This is hard as fuck.
This is so sick. Alex and I were talking. We were like, we should I feel like we need to be like walking in, like looking badass as fuck, like all blacked out, like
sunglasses, cigar in hand, and a glass of whiskey.
Just a full-on like massive beard, like.
But anyways, so coming at you with episode 9. So we've been at this a little over 2 months, almost to 10 weeks, which I feel like is like a huge milestone. We're almost at. So
we're putting our nose to the grind, trying to bring something new to the table every single week for you guys. And so speaking of something new, this week we decided to go with Monkey Shoulder Malt Scotch whiskey and
blended Scotch.
Yeah,
it's a blended malt Scotch.
So not a single malt for anybody that's had any scotches before or whatnot. This is my first time actually having a scotch.
Yeah, so this is like the first scotch that I've actually tried to that I've actually tried to appreciate, like the flavors and stuff like that going on. But
for the YouTube audience, this is what the bottle looks like. Kind of straightforward a little bit. It's got the 3 monkeys up on the shoulder of the bottle, which a little bit of story behind that. But basically, so like I said, Monkey Shoulder is a blended malt Scotch whiskey, and purely off the bottle, pretty cool little. I guess not story, but anyways, rooted in malt whiskey history and inspired by the malt men who still turn the malting barley by hand, Monkey Shoulder is a blend in small batches of 3 fine Speyside single malts, then married to achieve a smoother, richer taste.
Yeah, so for anybody that's like, I guess kind of well versed in their whiskey, and like for those of you who aren't, so Speyside is a region of Scotland, and so scotches they're kind of subdivided between the region of Scotland that it comes from. So you have like a Speyside Scotch, then you have like Islay Scotches, and like there's a good handful of different of like the major regions in Scotland, and all of them like kind of bring their own characteristic properties to the table.
Yeah. And something that's probably you guys might be familiar with is if you've ever heard of Glenfiddich Scotch whiskey, and that's part of the Speyside region basically. Because this bottle here, so I'll tell you a little bit about it, but the name is kind of cool. So the story behind the name is the name or term Monkey Shoulder actually came from a condition that malt men would pick up from turning barley by hand for hours and hours, all day long. And it had a tendency to cause basically whichever side, whichever shoulder basically that you were turning the barley with, eventually it would cause your one shoulder to hang lower than the other. And that's where the name Monkey Shoulder came from, because you essentially looked like a monkey with your shoulder drooping down further than the other one. So it's funny, but it's kind of cool I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And so
That's
this
pretty
bottle,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and this bottle is, like we said, it's a blended Scotch. So it's from. It was actually made from 3 different distillers. So it was made out of the and I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly. Kaninvi, I think.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Kaninvi Distillery. They were the creator of Monkey Shoulder, and that distillery itself has been open since the 1990s, and they actually created Monkey Shoulder in 2005. So the other 2 distillers that partnered in it, or in this bottle,
2 of the ones that are like blended into it.
Blended in it, are again, Balvenie and then Glenfiddich. And I hope I'm saying that right too. I don't know if it's Glenfiddich or Glenfiddich or Dish.
I think it's Glen. I've heard people say Glenfiddich.
Yeah, Glenfiddich. I'm
typical Americans butchering.
I feel like I should say it right because I have a little bit
stuff.
of like Scottish in me.
Yeah.
From my dad's side.
Yeah.
But anyways,
this might be,
so to kind of like touch back on the space side, like it's basically like the location of the distillers, and they're all owned by William Grant and Sons, hence the 3 monkeys. So 3 distillers. That's why there's 3 monkeys on the shoulder of the bottle, and it's on the shoulder of the bottle because
on the shoulder of the bottle. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, this is called the shoulder of the bottle.
All right. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that, and then the term monkey shoulder. So I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah. I'd honestly.
Hey, well, I mean,
I'd never realized that. I like that though. That's fairly creative on their part, but
hey, if bottles can have necks, they can have shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotta think about it like that.
Fair point.
Honestly, I've never thought about that, but
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. So I guess
Boom.
without any further ado, let's toast it up to episode 9.
Episode 9.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, so I was kind of, while you were talking, I was kind of nosing this one a little bit. And so Dylan and I tasted this yesterday or the day before when we were kind of getting some of our notes together. And I was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of like getting like some, just off the nose, like some banana bread type notes. And Courtney was actually like cutting some bananas. He's like, no, it's because she's cutting bananas.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay. Yeah, that
like
makes
3 bananas.
I was like, that makes sense. But then like smelling it earlier today, and then just now I'm still getting that kind of banana bread. Almost like a little it's like banana bread, a little bit of sweetness, a little nutmeg, and then maybe some like vanilla off the nose.
Yeah, I can taste the vanilla. I don't smell the banana bread like you do.
I'm definitely getting like a bready off the nose, just kind of a bready vibe. But it honestly, this is one of the more like just well-rounded whiskeys that we've had.
Yeah.
On the show, at least. Like it's not like nothing harsh on your nose. It's not like you get like that kind of alcohol burn in your nose.
Yeah.
Like normal.
Yeah.
Like with like what is, I think this is like 80.
Yeah, it's
86 proof.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
43%.
Yeah. It's a nice easy
easy
Scotch.
Easy sipping Scotch.
Yeah.
I like this though.
So
this is we've already talked about it, and I think we're definitely gonna have to get some like other Scotches on the show.
Yeah.
Here pretty soon. So I think
oh, what happened? Oh, okay,
there
we
go. But yeah, so
thought we lost him.
I mean, what would you rate this?
Hang on, I gotta.
Yeah, give it another little sip.
Dude, it's smooth. It's definitely smooth.
It is. I like I don't know. I like how balanced the flavors.
Yeah, I think I'll ballpark it in the low 8.
Low 8s.
Low 8s.
That's a good score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to be too precise, but I like this one. This has been one of the easier ones for me to
It definitely,
drink
it definitely is. Yeah,
like a lot of the times I drink whiskeys, and you know, I tend to mix them. You know, like I usually mix it with is a Coke Zero.
Yeah,
but this one, like I can definitely just drink straight by itself. It's nice.
Yeah, I would agree.
How hard was it to get a bottle of that?
Oh, not hard at all. This is like we can. I mean, at least here, I know. I mean, I really don't remember from back home or on the mainland or anything, but we can find this stuff here all day.
Yeah. Well, and we actually just
Interesting.
So Alex, you knew about the liquor store before I did, but
yeah.
So we usually would just go to Safeway.
Or just like either Safeway or like the liquor stores that are on post.
Yeah.
Either on like Pearl Harbor or Schofield.
And I mean, both have a decent selection.
Yeah.
But
the next, as far as like the normal liquor stores go, like the next is probably it's pretty close to like the best that we can get here.
But this one definitely had a wide variety to choose from.
Anybody, all our Hawaii friends, so it's Eva Pantry. It's in Eva Beach. Yeah. And it's like kind of almost like a hole-in-the-wall type liquor store, but it's like, I mean, like...
It's on the corner of a little shopping plaza.
Yeah, like it's like top to bottom. Like, I mean, it's kind of like almost junky, but it's like it's packed with like different brands, different bottles, and like, I mean,
I think this bottle was like, what, 30?
It was probably $35.
Yeah.
At Safeway.
Yeah. So it's really inexpensive.
That's not even that bad.
Yeah,
no, that's not that bad. It's a pretty decent sized bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so honestly, I think after tasting this one and giving it some thought and tasting it again, I think I'm gonna give it like a 7.5, like a 7.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like really, because like there's nothing like it's really well balanced, but there's nothing in it that really like stands out. Nothing super sharp. There's no like overpowering flavors going on.
And
anything
I
like
think
that,
that's
which is a lot of times is a good thing.
Yeah, but I think it's mainly because it's a blended Scotch.
Yeah.
So it's not really like usually you would really taste something significantly if it was like a single malt.
Right.
But because it's a blended malt, like it's a blend of different, distillers.
Yeah. So I mean, I would be super interested to taste each of those scotches individually.
Yeah.
That are blended into this, and then just to see like what makes this what it is.
Mm-hmm.
To see all those individually and how they, I guess, would interact with each other. Definitely might be some future episodes coming up.
Yeah. So.
But yeah.
But so you kind of found, actually let's bring that back a little bit. So, what is this bottle? Like, who is it for? Is it for somebody who just wants to sip like on a blended Scotch by itself, or, is it like a better for mixing?
So their website, interestingly enough, so honestly, like after tasting this, I think this is a really good, like just all around like sipping whiskey, like drink it like neat on the rocks. It's delicious. It's good. It's well balanced. But according to Monkey Shoulder's website, this is like they say 100% a like mixing whiskey or like a cocktail whiskey.
Yeah.
And so they actually have some pretty interesting sounding cocktails on their website. A couple of them definitely stood out. So I mean, like, they suggest like a more or less just a normal old fashioned, except this one is shaken, and it has orange zest in it, as well as an orange peel, and just normal. I want to say the recipe that they had called for, I think, just regular Angus syrup bitters. So nothing crazy standing out there, but the orange zest is kind of neat, I guess, and the fact that it's shaken. Or, well, I take that back. It's not shaken. It's just mixed into a mixing glass, is what it says, but.
It's just like a traditional,
more or less,
old fashioned, and they have a little bit of a twist on it for them.
Yeah. So the one that did stand out though, is they have a recipe on their website. It's called the Monkey Colada. So essentially kind of a pina colada. So it's monkey shoulder, of course, coconut rum. It's a 2 parts monkey shoulder to 1 part coconut rum, and then add in coconut water, lime juice, pineapple rings, and a dash of simple syrup.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, and yeah, it says blended, so it's like a blended drink, which is definitely honestly, like I think that would be really good. I feel like it would. I don't know. I feel like it would almost kill the whole vibe that they have going, that like the actual like whiskey itself brings to the table. Mm-hmm. But I think it would still be a delicious drink. Also, they have an espresso martini, which sounds really like,
for all of our coffee lovers out there.
Yeah, which sounds really interesting to me. Honestly, I would be about this, but
I would be too. I'm not a huge fan of espresso like by itself.
Oh, absolutely not.
But
like I have to like, I'm not drinking espresso straight.
Yeah,
not that kind of. Ugh.
God no.
It'll put some hair on your chest. But yeah, so this one calls for monkey shoulder, of course, and it says good quality strong espresso and Tia Maria, which I actually had to look up, but I believe it's like a coffee liqueur. It says it's a liqueur with notes of coffee and vanilla. So I mean, I'm kind of, I guess, almost like a Kahlua type vibe.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more vanilla, and and then it says a dash of sugar syrup, simple syrup, to taste. So definitely something to try if you guys want to actually try this monkey shoulder. Although personally, I think this is a really good whiskey to just sip on. It's like, mid 80 proof, and like it's super. I mean, it's it's a good whiskey.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot. All right.
So also to finish on the whiskey, so they took gold at the Scotch Whiskey Masters in the blended malts premium category back in 2015, and they also took gold at the International Wine and Spirits competition in again Scotch Whiskey blended malt in 2017. So it's got a little bit of awards to come along with it. It's trying to get a name for itself.
So when I added those to the notes, those were like some of their more recent awards.
Yeah,
they've and I mean obviously, so this whiskey's been out since 2005. So they've had some time to accumulate some awards. But I picked some of the more recent ones just to throw in there and highlight. So
not bad for like a 15-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely not
company.
That's kind of several of the whiskeys that we've had so far have been like, from like they like debuted in like, I guess like 2000 and till now.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line. But I think a couple of the ones that we have coming up are some older like classic whiskeys.
Yeah.
I'm like really excited about some of the ones we have coming up.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, so for this week's, I guess, discussion, what are we going to talk about?
So this was a topic that our other co-host Rhett originally brought up. So really, it was just we kind of left it open, and it's just good, bad, and toxic friendships, relationships, be it like just like relationships with people you work with, or just anybody your friends, your significant other, whoever. Just just kind of what makes a good relationship, what makes a bad relationship, just kind of in general with people. So you have on here, it says communication in all caps.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's kind of.
So big. I think in every relationship you have with your family, with your friends, with your significant other, coworkers, etc., like without like communicating with one another, you are essentially creating like a little bit of a toxic relationship, in my opinion. I think it's just very important to really express, the way you're feeling, letting letting each other know, like, especially in with your significant other, you need to express like how you're feeling. You need to be upfront with each other.
Yeah.
From the start, like 100% off rip, you gotta have that, because if you don't have that, you're gonna create a roller coaster of a ride for yourself in the future. You know what I'm saying? And I think that communication is always key. Without communication, you are gonna experience something along the lines of a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And I have two other points that I kind of wrote down. And I guess my opinion is probably more geared towards your significant other, your spouse and whatnot. Just from what I've experienced, like, you need to understand, you have to admit when either of you are right or you're wrong. Admit when you're wrong and admit when the other person's right.
I would agree. So I would agree with that. And that's hard.
It is hard.
That's hard.
Nobody wants to just, you know what? I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like
nobody,
because
nobody wants to be wrong.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be wrong. We haven't made it. I think it's like a natural human instinct to always think that we're right.
Yeah.
With whatever we're talking about.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, like, it's kind of like when you have like a strong opinion about something, like you genuinely believe that you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of, sometimes it's, I guess it's hard to like see the difference between like your opinion and like the way you feel about something or actual like fact, Yeah.
And I think for me, what makes it a little bit easier for me to be able to do that, is I've kind of developed, I should say, the ability to be able to see things from other people's perspective, I've been able to, like, I've learned how to take myself out of the equation and look at it from a third person's view.
Right.
And I've been able to that's how I make a lot of decisions, with anything at work, with Courtney. Like, I'm able to take those first few seconds, especially if I'm in a dispute with someone, I'm able to kind of take a few seconds before I speak and really think, like, I'll take myself out of the situation. Like, okay, this is what you could say, but that's going to end up, biting you in the ass.
Yep. So
let's figure out a way to say something else to where it doesn't do that, and you can be civil about it.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll finish my point, but basically, the last thing is making sure you're prioritizing one another, making sure you're setting aside time to spend with each other. And like I said, this is more geared towards your significant other or your spouse, whatever. Even family. I mean, prioritize your family's time. Like, especially as, like, growing up, you don't realize it when you're younger, but you spend a lot of time, like, always on your phone or playing video games or seeing what's going on in social media, always trying to be away from your family. And something I've noticed since I've, left for the military and whatnot after I graduated high school, like, I've noticed that I miss my family more now than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than before.
And, like, honestly, I think about that a lot. And it kind of, the conclusion I kind of came to was, like, so for us, it's a little bit different since we're stationed in Hawaii, and it's so expensive and such a hassle for us to go home. Because, I mean, Dylan and I are both, and Christian, we're all from the Southeast.
Yeah.
So, it's, well, Christian, your family's up in Maryland too. So definitely, I feel like you probably
still
feel
have,
that a little
still
bit.
Have a good bit of relatives up there.
Being down in Mobile and stuff. But, it's kind of, it changes your perspective a little bit when it's more difficult or when you can't go home, to see your family. Like, it's so expensive. Like, I don't want to, like, tell my parents, be like, yo, like, I really want you guys to come out here, which, they probably would, but I mean, that's, like, so expensive. And, like, ultimately it would be a little bit cheaper and more, economical and sensible for me to just go home than for both of them to come here. Yeah. But I mean, still, it's, especially being in the military, like we don't make a lot of money. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, it makes it so much more difficult to actually go home. So you kind of value that time a little bit more, a little differently than you would normally.
What about you, Chris?
I mean, personally, I'm a reservist, so I'm already pretty close to home as is in terms of, my reserve base, I guess. I mean, I was already going to South Alabama at the point, which is in Mobile. And then when I joined the Air Force, my dad actually lives maybe a 3-minute walk from the base. So people kept asking me, because I had a short haircut, if I was in the military. And I was like, I should join the military. And around that time, I remember asking Crow, or Alex, I should say, sorry, in this instance. I was like, yeah, man, hey, I'm joining the military. And he was like, yeah, so am I. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. So, But for me, it's a little bit easier because I am a reserve. So it's like, my family actually just recently moved down to Mississippi, my mom and them. So
nice.
They're a lot closer. So it's easier for me. But at the same time, it's like, it's still an issue if I go TDY somewhere, go on a trip somewhere. That's an issue because then I'm leaving from home. And then, I could feel your guys' pain a little bit more on that note.
Yeah. So what would you say your view is on like what makes a relationship, what makes a good relationship?
Knowing what you're sacrificing beforehand, you know what I mean? Like knowing who the other person is. Because you don't want to go into a relationship not knowing who somebody is. Like if somebody's going to be like, you can look at somebody's job, like somebody's going to be a teacher, that's like a noble person that actually cares about things. You know what I mean? Like you have to know about that person before you jump head over heels into a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to think about what you sacrifice and what they bring to the table too. I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
At all, really. I like that though.
Yeah. Well, and so that kind of makes me, that was a very good couple points you made there, man. But it makes me think about, especially being in a relationship with someone. Like, it's not, being in a relationship is a job. 100% it's a job. Like,
absolutely,
you have to, and it's a 24/7 job. It's not like, you put in a couple hours of work on your relationship and then, okay, we're good. You wait a little bit. It's like, no,
of course not. Yeah.
You should be always trying to see like how can you make this relationship keep working and keep, operating smoothly and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what kind of makes.
That was a good save. Babe, you think our relationship's a job?
Well, so for lack of a better word, I don't mean like, oh my God, it's a job.
I completely get it. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like it's.
It's something you have to work at.
Yeah, 100%.
Like constant. It's like it's not like
be easy.
Yeah, it's not like you can just be like, all right, well, clocking out for the day. Like,
well, that's like you got to think about it. It's if you love somebody, it's easy to find the person, but it's hard to keep the person. You know what I mean? You got to keep somebody interested in a relationship. You can't just be like, oh yeah, you love me and that's it. You got to like actually work at it and progress it.
I would absolutely agree.
Evolve it, continue.
So, I mean, I feel like we kind of, I don't know, I feel like we kind of alluded towards like romantic relationships. But realistically, I mean, that kind of applies to every kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Like, even with your friends, like, maintaining like a good friendship with somebody, you have to work at it. Like, not in the same ways and not like, necessarily, I mean, I guess like maybe not like a full-time type thing, but I mean, it is something you have to work at.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that like you can absolutely apply to like even people you work with, like,
Yeah. So with your point, so kind of, I guess, elaborate a little bit.
Okay. You're right.
I don't think
honestly, I wrote that down and I completely forgot about it. But so anyways, so kind of my initial thought with, like we, I guess, presented this topic and then we all added our own notes to it. So, and initially, so what I had written down was so a good relationship directly makes you better, like makes you a better person, or it makes you want to take the initiative to better yourself. So like, it's, something that in some way, like the relationship, makes you better. That could be literally anything, you know, like it makes you like, not necessarily like, you know, like, so going back to like the romantic relationship thing, like I feel like a lot of people get into relationships and like their significant other like expects them to change or like tries to change them, you know? And I think like most of us have been in a relationship like that at some point in time. And like they try to make you the person that they want instead of like
allowing you to be the person that you
are
and
or that you
complimenting
want to be. Yeah. You know, and I think that's a major downfall of a lot of relationships. But that being said, you know, what I mean by like either like makes you better is, you know, something that like that compliments you and complements your personal growth in a way that makes like, I don't know, like kind of makes you change in a way that's like productive for you. Well, and so organic change, so not like compliments. You know, like, I don't like this about you. I want you to change this. Yeah. No, it's like everybody over time. Everybody changes. You know, regardless of whether you like actually make an effort or whether it just kind of happens subconsciously. You know. Yeah. And I think that like change can happen in a good way, and it's like almost like realizing, like noticing that in yourself, and like kind of like being when you're like seriously thinking about your relationship with anyone, you know, you can kind of think about like how you've changed over the course of that relationship, and kind of realize, you know, like, okay, like I'm doing things that I want to do, or I'm changing in ways that I feel that are positive for me or that I've wanted to change or whatever. But there's also like I guess a fine line between like, I guess like changing and like noticing a good change in yourself, or kind of like changing in a bad way and not like noticing it the same, I guess, you know, like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that kind of coming back to what you were saying about, you know, complimenting one another, complimenting your change, like when it makes a huge impact on your partner when you are anyways, it makes a huge impact on your partner when you are being like when you are complimenting them on what they're doing, because it's like a trickle effect. The more you do that, the more it's going to make your partner want to keep like striving to change for the better, like you said, you know, to better themselves and whatnot. Like that's really going to impact them.
Yeah. And like kind of like, so like you and I were talking about a day or two ago, like you are the company that you keep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like
absolutely
firm believer in that. Like if you're hanging out with shitbags, chances are you're going to be a shitbag, you know? Like it's a what's like
the odds are not in your favor.
A direct correlation. Like, I mean, you know, if you're hanging out with people that, you know, are into the things that you want to do. So say you're hanging out with people who are like serious about their schoolwork and like getting their degree and, you know, achieving their career goals. Like chances are, you know, you're going to be a little bit more diligent about your schoolwork. And like could be like a peer pressure type thing, like, oh, like my friends are like, you know, getting like 4.0s, so like, you know, I want to do the best I can, or whatever it is. I mean, that's like a positive peer pressure type thing, you know. Or say like, so you know, for me, like, so when I started dating Bree, so we're almost at 2 years now, but so when her and I first started dating, you know, it really kind of like made me want to get my stuff together and like get back in school and start focusing on, you know, achieving the things that I wanted to achieve, you know. Like I want to finish my bachelor's. I want to finish my bachelor's in the healthcare field. And you know, I definitely credit her with kind of motivating me to do that, you know. It's like that's the kind of things that I mean by like it makes you want to like better yourself or makes you want to change for the better is, you know.
Yeah.
Like, she, like, absolutely never was like, babe, you need to get your shit together. Like, you need to get back in school and graduate this time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of one of those things that, like, I was like, you know, like, I want to do this. So
I think both of us are pretty lucky with the girls that we are with, because they like, again, same thing with Courtney. She's been extremely supportive with me, especially. I can be kind of both sides. I can be a very decisive person on what I want to do, but I can also be extremely indecisive.
Yeah. I'm definitely more on the
I've
indecisive side.
struggled for so long about like what I truly want to do with my life as a career, like what I want to end up doing. You know, I like through high school, I wanted so badly to go to college off of a athletic scholarship for football, and especially watching the draft, which made me realize this when I was watching the draft, is like how I just let my talent do the work on the field, and I didn't apply the extra work required that a lot of professional athletes did to get them where they are. So, and for the longest time, I played the whole like, woe's me card. Like, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. I stayed behind, like, or I relied on like the excuses as to why, like, I thought that I didn't make it. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that I'm this absolute 5-star freaking football player, but I also know that I wasn't bad and I had potential.
Right.
But because I didn't apply myself off the field, not just on the field, because I didn't apply myself off the field is the reason why, like, I never ended up doing that. And then after high school, like, I didn't want to go to college because I didn't want to get into debt. I didn't want to pull money out for school, for books, and all that shit. So I chose, like, okay, I'm just gonna go work. I did 3 years of labor, and it wasn't bad. And there were other avenues I could have taken in life that I could have done some type of trade school.
Yeah.
You know, I could have stayed, because I was doing construction with my dad. I could have stayed with that and stuck with it and worked my way up and in that route. But I naturally feel like I have like an entrepreneurial's kind of mindset.
I would agree.
Like,
I see that a lot.
I want my freedom, but I also, like, I want to be able to, like, live comfortably and have, like, that sense of financial freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, but I'm a patriotic kind of person. I wanted to join the military. I did NJRTC in high school, and, I found myself 3 years after high school, like, having that desire, like, okay, I want to join the military. So I joined the military. Now I'm in the military, and now I'm like, okay, this isn't exactly what I thought I wanted.
This is not what the brochure said.
And so now since being in Hawaii, I decided to mess around and get a camera. And since I've done that, I've truly developed a passion for photography. And now, since doing the podcast and doing the video side of things, I am growing a passion for, like, the videography side of things. And so, because the military has so many different jobs, I'm trying to reclass to a job that's going to allow me to do both of those things. And then it's going to not only develop my skills, but it's going to give me the credentials to be able to get out after and it'll be easier for me to get a position at some media agency.
Yeah.
Or something. It doesn't even need to be a media agency, because I don't exactly really know the avenue I want to go down. But right. I know it. I want to do something with photo and video.
It's the kind of thing, it's like a good resume builder.
Yeah.
So, it kind of sets you up to do whatever.
Yeah.
With a solid resume, you can get a job anywhere, or you can use that for yourself. If you decided to go out on your own and do whatever it is, then, like, you can, like, kind of put that out there and be like, this is like some of the training I've had. So, like, let me take pictures of you, or whatever you need.
I totally forgot where I started that conversation.
I don't either. I like it. So I guess we can kind of move on to bad relationships. So kind of things that that make bad relationships with people, like be it like literally anything. So Christian, I'll let you take this one. What do you think about like bad and toxic relationships?
This is my thing for toxic relationships. That there's one thing that my grandfather used to say when I was younger, and it makes a lot more sense now that I'm older. He used to say, just remember that the only person you're stuck with forever is yourself. And that's true, because you got to think about that in life. Like, you can't just hold on to people just because, like, I mean, for example, Crow, there was times where I wasn't talking to my mom and stuff like that because we had issues going on. And like, that's definitely something that was impactful in my life, but it was something that needed to happen so that I could continue what I needed to do. And, it is what it is, but you can't just hold on to people just because they're a part of your life. You can cut people out when you need to, just as long as it's improves your mental health, your physical health, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Economically, whatever. You just can't hold on to people for no reason. I think that you have to know your limitations to what you'll let people do to you, say to you, stuff like that,
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I like that.
I don't think you should let people walk over you, but I mean, there's people that are really shy about it. So it's, different avenues to take for it.
Yeah, I would agree. Like
something I've learned, I'm learning a fucking lot of shit, but
hey, that's good though.
Something I've learned recently is being, as far as the type of person that I want to be, is like I want to be the person that is going to be 100% truthful about everything going on in my life, and also 100% truthful about my opinions, and being basically like a rock for myself, but for the people around me too. Like, I want people to feel like they can come to me and, talk to me about whatever it is that they need to talk to me about, and know that they might not like what I have to say back to them if it's something bad, but also understand like that it's what they need it's what they need to hear,
I agree.
Like mainly because like I don't want somebody telling me something, like let's say I'm doing something and it's not necessarily like the best thing, I might be just, I don't know, acting out, whatever. I want somebody to come to me and tell me like straight up, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, like regardless if they're afraid they're gonna hurt my feelings, like, because I feel like people there's not enough of that.
No, there's absolutely not.
Like, and I think if there was more of that, more people wouldn't end up in the situations that they are ending up in.
Yeah, because
of people around them telling them straight up, instead of, how many times do you see someone doing something and you're kind of like, your opinion is like, yeah, I wouldn't be doing that or something, but yet we don't say anything.
Yeah,
to that person.
I mean, so I feel like even with like when you're talking to your friends, I feel like that's something that like some people can handle that. Some people can handle you like literally just being like, what you're doing is stupid and you need to stop.
Yeah,
like plain and simple, being real with them, whatever.
Yeah,
some people can handle that and some people can't.
Yeah.
Like some people can't take that. Like they'll get either super pissed off at you, or it'll hurt their feelings, and then they'll like quit talking to you and be dramatic about it.
Hold a grudge against you.
And like some I don't know. Like I said, some people can handle it, and some people are like, you know what, man, you're right. Like, and that's kind of comes down to like I guess judging the situation.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like, if the situation warrants it, and like you feel like that person well enough to like tell them that they're fucking dumb, and like by all means do it, because people like that, like that could be the most helpful to them. I feel like I'm that kind of person. Like I really just want like a real opinion. Yeah, like I might get kind of salty about it at first, but I'm like what it is what it is, and then I can kind of realize I'm like,
and
okay,
it's like you can't.
That was stupid of me. That was wrong. They're right. All right.
If somebody tells
I feel like
you
everybody
something,
respects honesty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Honesty is a big thing. Honestly, is the best policy, like the saying goes. But I I think that, damn it, I had it in my head. Now it's gone. I don't know. But
that happens to me so much. You know, they say that's back to whatever episode it was when we talked about whiskey's supposed to prevent dementia. I'm not feeling
drinking enough, man.
I'm not feeling it. I feel like I'm like 23 and I feel like I'm already starting to, like, my memory's starting to slip.
Yeah.
He said it's not kicking in yet.
Bree tells me that all the time. She's like, babe, you have dementia. Your memory's horrible. I'm like, yeah, it is. I can't even argue with it.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and I'll talk about the 3 things I wrote down. So basically, for me, what makes a bad toxic relationship? Number 1 would be lying.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Obviously that's cross the board. Anybody can agree with that. Especially like when it's like compulsive lying, like they just can't help it. You know, I think if you're doing that, you're kind of in. Nah, I'm not even. Okay, anyways.
Lying bad.
Lying is bad. Don't lie. Tell the truth.
Yeah. In really any form.
In any form,
Yeah.
Another one, which a lot of people, even myself, I don't do it anymore, but I used to, is holding in your feelings.
Yep.
If you,
that's terrible, dude. You can't do that.
So bad. Not just for your
is.
partner. It's bad for you.
It
you
is.
know, like
I did that.
I used to do that all the
Especially when you
time.
finally
I used
blow
to
up.
be
That's
horrible
terrible.
about it, actually.
Yeah, you know,
And then it would just kind of
I remember like
all come out.
I remember just like when I would hold my feelings in, like literally I would feel the pressure inside me building up.
Yeah.
Because of like I'm holding in these feelings.
Yeah.
You know? And it's literally toxic.
Yeah.
It's literally toxic.
Yeah, it's not good.
I mean, I've definitely done that with like
it's so bad for your health.
a couple of my like romantic relationships in the past. Like I've just kind of held it in, and then one day I wake up and like I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm done. And hey, we're breaking up. Well, like not on the phone necessarily, but like, it's kind of a douche move. But I mean, I'm like, hey. So
you just kind of woke up and
I'm
you're
just like, you know
were
what? I'm done.
finally the bottle was full. It was overflowing.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
And like, who knows? Like, if I'd have talked about it, it might have like changed something about it. But it is what it is.
That's what it is. Things happen for a reason.
You know, here I am.
But so lying, number 1, don't lie. Number 2, holding your feelings. It's extremely toxic for your health and obviously for the other person. And the third one for me is just being a negative Nancy. Like always just having a negative outlook on everything. You know?
Dude, those people make me so mad.
Oh, it's just
I hate that.
so frustrating, man. And it's hard to
It's tiring.
It is tiring.
Being like the other person in the relationship, if like whoever, you know, like one of your friends or your significant other, whoever it is, like just always being negative, it's exhausting.
It is. Especially when like you want to have that positive outlook and you're trying to like show that person the positivity. And it's almost just like they have glasses on where they can only see negative things.
Yeah, and it's hard because you're almost like, you know, why can't you just see it like this?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like why can't you just be more positive about things? Like, why do you always have to be so negative? But then like it's one of those things, like how honest you want to be with that person. Like you really want to just be like, why are you like this? Or like, you know.
Well, I think being negative is just like really it's not good for anybody around you. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to keep people around you if you're going to be negative all the time. I mean, unless you can just, you know what I mean? Nobody's going to put up with that. Over time, that's just something that, you know, deteriorates a friendship. That's for sure.
And I think that, you know, I'm not saying like don't ever be negative. There's things in life that are going to cause you to be negative.
Yeah.
You know, there's things that are going to happen to you that it's just that are inevitable, and you're going to want to have that negative outlook. And I think that it kind of goes back with like no one's ever 100% happy all the time, you know? Like there's it's just that would be unhealthy if you were literally happy 24/7.
Yeah.
But you know, it's okay to be negative towards like certain things that are out of your control, but it's also like it gets to the point where you can't just wake up in the morning and just if you're waking up in the morning and your first thought in your mind is something negative, like there's something going on, like, and you need to like talk to someone. You need to I guess investigate it yourself, kind of like, where is this negativity coming from?
Yeah, that's where like I feel like a certain level of like being like introspective comes into play. Yeah, it's like you have to recognize things like in yourself. So like, I guess kind of a like lighthearted example is like definitely realize that I need another job. Gonna throw that out there. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I wake up in the morning
but at least
5 a.m. and I'm like, I really am not looking forward to going to work today.
Yeah,
and like that's kind of what I realized. I was like, you know what, I need to get myself back in school. I need to get myself ready.
Yeah,
to get out and move on with my life.
And it's good because you're like, there's a lot of other people that have realized the same thing, that they don't want, this is not the job that they want, but they solely focus on like, I just don't want to do this, or why are we doing this dumb shit, or why is this happening to me, like, rather than like
victim mentality.
Yeah, back to our topic from last week.
Yep.
But like, yeah,
I mean, I completely agree. I mean, that kind of touches back on being a negative Nancy, I guess. Like, at least like if you're gonna notice that something's, so this is kind of what I had written down. It was making you do things or presenting things in your life that will either like, I said harm you, but like I really meant like kind of like just something that's not good for you, or something that like like puts you in a bad position, and stuff like that. So I mean, you have to realize like okay, you can be optimistic all you want, but then once you kind of like you run into something and you're like, yo, I can't find a positive aspect to this, to whatever's going on. Mm-hmm. So like then you're kind of like, all right, well, this needs to change. So then like instead of like being a negative Nancy, you just be like, oh, this sucks, I hate it, tired of it, I don't want to do it, whatever, and then just keep on going doing the same thing. Yep. Which like a lot of people do that, but like I guess the converse to that would be like, okay, I hate this, I don't want to do it, tired of it, whatever, and being like, okay, I got to change it. This is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna change it.
Yep.
Like,
and with that, to kind of add to that, about changing your situation, and I'm guilty of this, but you have to put your thoughts into action.
Yeah.
Regardless if you know what the hell to do. Like if you don't know what that first step is, to be honest, it really doesn't matter. You just need to do something, and then you'll figure it out.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Try something.
Try something. Don't work, try something else.
Honestly, it's not so much like actually like changing it, it's the effort that you put in.
Yeah.
That shows, if you're like, all right, well, if you try 5 things that don't work, then like, okay, cool, but at least you're trying something.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it sucks, like you're still like just like struggling to fix whatever it is, but like you're trying something.
Yeah.
That's positive progress.
Yeah.
Effort,
you can't make changes without any effort put in. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. We are running on time, let me tell you.
Yeah. So Christian, what would you say here? So do you think you should prioritize yourself or over a relationship, or do you think you should prioritize the relationship over yourself?
I think that wholly depends on the relationship itself, the aspect of the relationship. If it's a friendship, you come first, no offense. And I don't say that in terms of like, oh man, I don't care about my best friends. Like, no, not like that. I'm just saying that like, if it comes down to like something in your personal life that you care about a lot, and a friend, obviously, I think you should take care of yourself first. Again, you're the only person you're stuck with forever. That friend could leave 2 years to go to a job in a different country. So I feel like for a friendship, you should worry about yourself over the friend if it comes down to that. In a relationship, in terms of a romantic relationship, I think that it's got to be a 50-50 for it to be a successful. I mean, that one's kind of hard to flip the coin on, but
Yeah.
I would say you have to prioritize the relationship in that, I suppose, because it is more about, being in a unit rather than yourself, So I would say that. And then if it's in terms of like, what other kind of relationship would you consider?
So I mean, like you said, you kind of hit the two biggest ones is your friendships, and then your actual relationship with, the person that you are with, the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
I think that's the toughest part too, is knowing to what extent that you can allow that other person to prioritize themselves over you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to know like how far you're willing to go to help that person over yourself, and how to know when it's time to say, no, I need to do this for me before I can do that for you, because this is me too. You know what I mean? And a good friend would know that they have to be able to sacrifice that too.
Dude, I was literally just about to say literally pretty much what you just said.
Sorry about that. I mean, it's
no, you're good. I like it. But I mean, I think you summed that up really good.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I mean,
it's that Air Force thinking.
Kind of. Oh,
hey now.
I mean, you tried to join the Air Force.
I did try to join. Man, fuck the Air Force. They didn't want to take me because I have a bunion on my foot. Fuck you.
Oh God. But yeah, so
dude.
I guess kind of back to this like little ending topic here. Like, I think it boils down to you having to make the decision and judge what that relationship is worth to you.
Yeah.
And judge the situation.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Like so like your significant other, if like you can like look at that relationship and be like, okay, like, it's worth it to me to like make a sacrifice for the sake of keeping this relationship going, by all means do it. If you look at yourself and you're like kind of questioning like I don't know if this is like really like as like that important to me. Like I want to like, like, do I want to do my own thing, or, do I want to like do what's good for this relationship? Then like chances are you should probably just do what's good for you.
Yeah.
The thing is, it really boils down to the fact that it's like, can you live with that person? Or, can you live without that person in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can answer that question truthfully, yes or no, then that's how you should know whether or not that relationship is worth it enough to keep fighting for it.
Absolutely agree. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, dude, I think this was a decent discussion. I think, obviously, we say the same thing every single time for every single topic, but, like, we could literally go on and on and on. Like,
it's so easy to. It's so easy to get in depth with stuff like this.
Yeah,
especially when we're drinking whiskey. Like,
it does.
It makes it way easier.
This monkey shoulder's making it easy. I like this a lot. It's a good sipping. It's a good sipper.
Good.
So yeah. Well, Christian, we appreciate you. Spending.
Oh, absolutely, man. I appreciate the invitation. If anything, I was glad to be able to spend the time and talk to you guys.
Yeah, man. I've been telling you for like weeks. I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna have you on, and just haven't.
It's fine. I just thought you forgot about me, man. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Roll that outro music.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on again. And
absolutely, let me know, man. Let me know.
Absolutely, bro. Well, anyways, so as always, we appreciate you guys listening.
Yeah.
Obviously, hit us up on all our social media, our Instagram at Whiskey Ways Pod, our Twitter at Ways Whiskey,
yeah. Facebook.
And, Facebook. Hit us up on YouTube. Hopefully this video will be up Sunday night or Monday sometime.
Yeah, I have an old 2016 MacBook Pro to edit on, so hey, it's this thing is screaming every single time I drop an episode, especially when we're keeping them at 50 minutes plus. So, if not Sunday night, Monday morning, it'll be up, it'll be live, and you guys can share it. And I'm gonna say that again, you guys can share it.
Anywhere.
And I'll say it again, you guys can share it.
Share it
like
everywhere.
Share it everywhere.
Tell your mom. Tell your dad.
Copy the link, send it, make a group chat, send it over Snap, send it over Twitter, whatever. Like, Christian, we would greatly appreciate you sharing it with everybody that you know, getting it out there, helping us getting it out there.
Of course.
And
of course.
Air Force friends.
Yeah. Maybe with all the Air Force money you guys got over there, maybe you can send us a bottle recommendation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send an airdrop.
You guys having good stuff.
I'll send an airdrop.
To,
I'll fly the airdrop myself, actually. I got you.
Yeah.
Still need to do some Evan Green label.
Yeah. Okay, I got you, man.
For
We
the
know everybody
fam.
in the Air Force is a pilot anyway, so yeah, I'll bring it over. Don't worry.
Oh, too easy. Yeah, just care package.
Yeah.
Load out, drop.
Sure. Yeah, no worries, man.
All right, bet.
All right,
man.
guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Like we said, hit us up on every platform. And with that, we'll see you guys next week for episode 10. Episode 10, bro.
That's a milestone. We hit it.
Hey, yeah. So,
All right, appreciate you guys.
all right. Take
Peace.
care.